Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Jai Shri Prabhu, Jai Prabhu. Mataji, can you please turn off the recording for 1 minute? The recording is on.
I'll have to record it because 4:15 I have to end, Mataji.
No, just for 1 minute.
We can do it afterwards. Sorry, Mataji, because it takes a while to start.
Okay.
We lose that time. Please leave a
Yes.
voice message
I
for
just
me.
wanted to ask about deity worship, something. I will send an audio message, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura
Jaya
Bhakta
Jaya
Vrinda.
Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta
Sri Chaitanya
Vrinda.
Charitamrita ki jai Srila Krishnada's Kaviraj Goswami ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Chapter 2, the ecstatic symptoms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Go back. The ecstatic manifestations of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are seeing Mahaprabhu's ecstasies during the last 12 years of his manifest Leelas on this earth. And we saw how Mahaprabhu is always in separation from Krishna. And at that time, Mahaprabhu is reciting the verses from Jagannath Vallabha Nataka of Srila Ramananda Rai. So in that drama, Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, Srimati Radharani is expressing her her feelings. She's expressing her feelings about her state, her condition, and basically, yeah, about her condition in separation from Krishna. So we have been reading, yeah, up to text 24. So I'll go back to 23. Yeah. So Srimati Radharani is saying, in my loving affairs, there is a person named Madana. His qualities are thus. Personally, he possesses no gross body, yet he is very expert in giving pains to others. He has 5 arrows, and fixing them on his bow, he shoots them into the bodies of innocent women. Thus, these women become invalids. It would be better if he took my life without hesitation, but he does not do so. He simply gives me pain. So the next verse, also we read 23. In the scriptures it is said, that one person can never know the unhappiness in the mind of another. Therefore, what can I say of my dear friends Lalita and the others? Nor can they understand the unhappiness within me. That means one cannot understand the pain of others. So I wouldn't know what is the pain of my dear friends Lalita and others because they are also in separation, nor can they know my unhappiness because of separation from Krishna. Although they are the most intimate friends of Srimati Radharani. In fact, they are the personal expansions of Srimati Radharani. Still, Srimati Radharani is saying, according to the scriptures, one person can never know the unhappiness of another person. They simply try to console me repeatedly, saying, "Dear friend, be patient." So my friends Lalita and other Sakhis, they try to pacify me by saying, "Please be patient," right? Like that. They simply try to console me. Next verse. कृष्ण कृपा पारावारा कभू करिबे न अंगीकारा सखी तोरा ए व्यर्थ वचना जीवेर जीवना चंचला जैन पद्मा पत्रेर जला ताता दीना जीवे कौन जना. I say, so when the Sakhis tell Srimati Radharani, please be patient, then Srimati Radharani says, I say, my dear friends, you are asking me to be patient, saying that Krishna is an ocean of mercy and that sometime in the future he will accept me. However, I must say that this will not console me, right? You're telling me that don't worry, Krishna is very, very merciful. He's an ocean of mercy, right? Kripa Sindhu, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, right? Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute, right? Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. He's an ocean of Karuna. Dina Bandhu. He is the only friend of Dina, those who are distressed. Anyone who is distressed, he has only one friend, Krishna. And he's an ocean of mercy, Karuna Sindhu. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate. Right? He's the husband or the maintainer, the protector of the entire Jagat, of the entire universe. So the Gop Sakhis are consoling Srimati Radharani, saying that please be patient. Krishna is Karuna Sindhu. Certainly he will accept you in future. He has not accepted yet, you don't see him yet, but certainly he will accept you in future. So who's saying this? Srimati Radharani is saying, you are telling me this, but I must say that these words of yours are not going to console me. Saying that Krishna is Karuna Sindhu, he will accept you. Such words are not going to console my heart. A living entity's life is very flickering. It is like water on the leaf of a lotus flower. So you have an experience of lotus leaf. Lotus leaf is, the whole lotus plant is in water. Yes, it is in water. Especially the lotus leaf. It has a waxy covering. So even though it is in water, it never touches water, meaning it never becomes wet by water. It is in water, but you pour any water, it will just roll into a ball like a pearl and it will just fall away. It won't stay on the leaf. So Srimati Radharani is saying, this life, this life is very flickering. You don't know for how long you'll be in this body. This life is like a drop of water on the lotus leaf. Who will live long enough to expect Krishna's mercy? You're saying very soon, no, not very soon. You're saying in future, Krishna is going to accept you or he's going to accept me. What do you mean by future? By the time Krishna shows mercy, what is the guarantee that I'm going to live? This life is very flickering. It can leave this body at any moment. So even if Krishna shows mercy at some time in future, my life won't sustain until that time, like that. So it is like, so Srimati Radharani is saying, I must say that this will not console me. A living entity's life is very flickering. It is like water on the leaf of a lotus flower. Who will live long enough to expect Krishna's mercy? Next. Shata vatsara paryanta jivera jivana anta ei vakya kaho na vichari narira yauvana dhana jare Krishna kore mana se yauvana dina dui chari. A human being does not live more than 100 years. You should all consider that the youthfulness of a woman, which is the only attraction for Krishna, remains for only a few days. So, Srimati Radharani is saying that, first of all, this human form of life is only for at most 100 years. Even that is not guaranteed, especially now. But maximum human life a person lives for 100 years. But we are women, right? And we want Krishna to be attracted to us. Now, what is the relationship of the gopis with Krishna? It's a conjugal relationship. That too, it's a relationship outside of marriage. It's not a married relationship. So when you're married to somebody, even when the person becomes old or fat or ugly or sick or handicapped, there is that sense of responsibility. So you stay with the spouse, isn't it? No matter what, as a matter of dharma, there is that. But let's say if it is it's an extramarital affair, you will stay with that person as long as you're getting pleasure, as long as you're enjoying. That's the reason why you have extramarital relationship. So you will stay with that person as long as you're getting enjoyment. When you don't get enjoyment, leave, go to somebody else, someone else who's more attractive. That's what is happening in the world, isn't it? So, but nowadays people don't even have that sense of responsibility that, oh, when we are married, we have to stay together. Even after marriage, if they find someone else more attractive, then just divorce and go to another person. And even worse, why even get into this marriage ties? Nowadays, they don't even get married. Just live in relationship. As long as you're getting enjoyment, you live. And then when you're not getting any enjoyment, you don't like, then go to another person. So this is a very degraded society, the present day society. But anyway, Srimati Radharani is saying, of course, this is in the worldly sense, right? So Srimati Radharani is saying, Krishna is only interested in us because we are young and we are beautiful, right? So he was spending time with us because we are young and we are beautiful ladies. That's what Krishna is interested in. And you are telling that in future Krishna will give mercy. In future I'm only going to get old. Why will he be interested in me when I become old and ugly? Like that. So human form of life is only for 100 years maximum. And if you're saying, okay, within these 100 years while you're living, at some point Krishna will give mercy. But if he gives me mercy when I'm 80 years old, do you think he will give me mercy at that time? Because what is my relationship with him? It's a conjugal relationship. That relationship you will have only when you're young, isn't it? So a human being does not live more than 100 years. You should also consider that the youthfulness of a woman, which is the only attraction for Krishna. The youthfulness of a woman, which is the only attraction for Krishna, remains for only a few days. So this is, Srila Prabhupada says that the gopis, they would be in a sulking mood and they would uh, use very slanting words for Krishna, like here. Oh, he's only interested in the youthfulness of a woman, like that. Or he's like a bumblebee, he goes to one flower and he takes nectar and then he goes to another flower, like that. So they would use such slanting words for Krishna. Why? Because this gave Krishna pleasure. anything that the gopis did, what to speak of Srimati Radharani, their entire existence was simply meant to give pleasure to Krishna. And Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Akhila Rasa Amrita Murti. Akhila means all types of rasas. He's very expert in tasting all types of rasas. Like not just tasting sweet or salty or sour, but sweet, salty, sour, bitter, pungent, all types of tastes. He's very expert. So similarly in relationships also, all types of relationships. Loving relationships, and then angry relationships, and then where somebody is calling him bad names and teasing him, and everything. He tastes every type of relationship. So, and Srimati Radharani is the pleasure giving potency of Krishna. So she herself expands into different gopis to give different tastes to Krishna. So here also Srimati Radharani in the same mood. Of course, she is in great separation from Krishna. She's saying a human being does not live more than 100 years. You should only consider that the youthfulness of a woman, which is the only attraction for Krishna, remains for only a few days. Actually, even in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, you'll remember when Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Why he took sannyas? What happened was Mahaprabhu was sitting, and he was, this is long before, when he was a grihastha in Navadvip. So he was absorbed in the mood of a gopi, Srimati Radharani. And what is the mood? That Krishna has left all the gopis and has gone away to Vrindavan. After spending intimate time with them, now he just abandoned them, just to die, right? To suffer for the rest of their lives. Their problem is they cannot forget Krishna for a single moment, and they want to forget. They want to forget so that they can go on with their lives, but they cannot forget him. So they simply keep talking about Krishna. By that talking of Krishna, that sustains their life. Because when you talk about Krishna, you are with Krishna. He is with you. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of gopis or in the mood of Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is chanting Gopi, 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 Gopi. So one Brahmana boy, you can say a talkative Brahmana boy, comes and says, Nimai Pandit, why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi? This is not recommended in the Shastra. You should chant Krishna, Krishna, not Gopi, Gopi. This is not right. Mahaprabhu was not in external consciousness. So when he heard, you should chant Krishna. Krishna, that cheat, that debauchee, you want me to chant his name, and you have come here to canvass for Krishna. He picked up a stick. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up a stick. Why? Because he was not in external consciousness. He's in the mood of the gopis, who are like how Srimati Radharani is saying. He's only interested in the youthfulness of women. He's not, he's a cheat like that. Mahaprabhu is in that mood of the gopis. So when someone said, don't chant the names of gopis, chant the name of Krishna, he picked up a stick and ran after that boy to beat him up, so that Brahmana somehow escaped. So like that, here in this Jagannath Vallabha Nataka, Srimati Radharani is also saying like that. Yours telling me that in future I will get the mercy of Krishna, I don't have any hopes in that. And you're telling me that in future Krishna will give you mercy because Krishna is Karuna Sindhu, this is not going to console me. In future, first of all, my life is so short, and you don't know for how long you will live. It is flickering. Any moment you can die, like that water on the lotus leaf. And then even if I lived, I'm only getting older and older. Why would Krishna be interested in me in future? If he's not interested in me now, when I'm young and beautiful, then what interest he will have in me after, in future, when I become an old lady? What interest will Krishna have in me? Why? Because Krishna is only interested in the youthfulness of women. That's all. Agniyaiche nija dhama dekhaiya abhirama patangira akarshiya mare Krishna aiche nija guna dekhaiya hare mana. pache dukkha samudre te dare. If you say that Krishna is an ocean of transcendental qualities, yes, Krishna is an ocean of transcendental qualities. And therefore must be merciful someday. He's an ocean of all transcendental qualities. So you see, Vaishnavas have 26 qualities, right? Those who are pure devotees, they will have these 26 qualities. So being merciful, being kind, being friendly, understanding the pain of others, these are all qualities of Vaishnavas, right? Para dukkha dukki. When they see someone suffering, that becomes their suffering. This is a Vaishnava's quality. From where Vaishnavas are getting these qualities? From Krishna. He is the reservoir of all good qualities. And anyone who becomes a devotee of Krishna, he also gets those qualities. So, if Srimati Radharani is saying, if you are telling me that Krishna is an ocean of transcendental qualities and therefore he must be merciful someday, I can only say that he is like fire which attracts moths by its dazzling brightness and kills them. Such are the qualities of Krishna. By showing us his transcendental qualities, he attracts our minds, and then later, by separating from us, he drowns us in an ocean of unhappiness, like this. So, again, if you remember the sequence in these verses, Srimati Radharani said that loving affairs, the nature of loving affairs is that you enter into it without sufficient knowledge. You enter into it without sufficient knowledge. We all got attracted by the wonderful qualities of Krishna. And by this, Krishna, who's so, what do you say, kind of cruel, right? That he tied me up with my, he tied my hands and my neck, and I'm unable to move. How did he tie? He tied me with the ropes of his wonderful qualities, Srimati Radharani said. Right? He shows his wonderful qualities, and we really get attracted to him. Wow, Krishna is so wonderful. We get attracted to him. So we get tied, right? We get tied up. That means we cannot move. And after tying us up, then he leaves us and goes away in separation to suffer. That means, remember, Srimati Radharani said, love is such that she started off in the beginning saying that nobody knows, what type of pain we are suffering because of loving Krishna. Krishna has given us pain, like what type of injuries we have suffered in the course of our love. Even Cupid does not understand, right, how sensitive we are. So what is Srimati Radharani talking about? Their attachment to Krishna. How much they have given everything, completely absorbed in Krishna's thought, and now Krishna has abandoned them. After attracting them, now he has abandoned them to suffer. So in various ways, Srimati Radharani is explaining their condition. Like half-killed bird, right? You shoot the arrow and then you leave it there for the bird to suffer, and die. There's no death, just there's pain, like that. So here again, Srimati Radharani is saying, when Radharani is only talking, you see, that's why it is said that she appeared like a mad woman to everyone, because she was talking to herself, both for the other person and for herself. She would be talking, and she would be talking to the clouds, to the trees, to the bumblebees, like that. So Srimati Radharani is saying, my dear Sakis, if you say like this, then this is my answer. So if you say that Krishna is an ocean of transcendental qualities, he will definitely deliver you in future, he will definitely accept you in future. Then I will say his transcendental qualities, which are very, very attractive, they are like fire. What happens when there is fire? being attracted to that fire, these fireflies, right? They get attracted to the fire, not firefly, those small insects that get attracted to the fire. They go into the fire. Why? Because of the dazzling light of the fire, they get very attracted to it. But what is the result of that attraction? That fire itself kills that insect. First, the fire is emitting this beautiful light, because of which this insect is getting attracted. And because of that attraction, once it comes close to the fire, fire just burns it and kills that insect. So Krishna is like that fire. His wonderful transcendental qualities are like that fire. He shows these wonderful qualities, and like those insects, we get attracted to Krishna, we become attached to Krishna, and then he leaves us. He separates himself from us and goes away, which is worse than death for us. Like that insect which is burnt, we are finished. Yeah. See, if you say that Krishna is an ocean of transcendental qualities and therefore must be merciful someday, I can only say that he is like fire, which attracts moths by its dazzling brightness and kills them. Such are the qualities of Krishna, right? You're saying he's an ocean of transcendental qualities. I'll tell you what is the result, right? What is the nature of these transcendental qualities of Krishna? These transcendental qualities, they're very, very attractive, but they only give us death, like that. By showing us his transcendental qualities, he attracts our minds, and then later by separating from us, he drowns us in an ocean of unhappiness. Death would have been better, right? Without any hesitation, he should have just taken our life. But no, he doesn't kill us, he just leaves us to suffer in an ocean of unhappiness. एते कविलाप कोरि विषादे श्री गौर हरि उघाड़िया दुखेरा कपाटा भावेर तरंग बोले नाना रूपे मन चले आर एक श्लोक कोइला पाठा. In this way, Lord Sri, so these are all the verses from Jagannath Vallabha Nataka written by Srila Ramananda Rai. So when Mahaprabhu is in great separation from Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, he would be reciting these verses of Srimati Radharani to console his heart. In this way, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lamented in a great ocean of sadness, and thus he opened the doors of his unhappiness. Forced by the waves of ecstasy, his mind wandered over transcendental mellows, and he recited another verse as follows. So when he would recite this verse, what happens? This would just unleash his transcendental grief. He's already feeling grief. And when he would recite these verses of Srimati Radharani, where she's expressing her state, her condition, then it would unleash, like, you have the dams, right? When you open up the dam, what happens? There's a flood. Like that. He would just open the doors of his unhappiness, and his mind would just wander. And then, once again, he would come back to reading another verse or reciting another verse. Yeah. Forced by the waves of ecstasy, but remember, this is grief, but it is also ecstasy. It is the highest ecstasy. Forced by the waves of ecstasy, his mind wandered over transcendental mellows, rasas, and he recited another verse as follows. So this whole chapter, right, there's many, many verses like this. So we will continue tomorrow. It's 4:15 already. Thank you all, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.